All right. Good morning, everybody. Welcome back.
Good morning, Mr. Chapman.
Good morning. Hope everybody's having a great week. Um, one thing that I just kind of wanted to encourage people about is we're kind of at the start of second semester, right? I think I talked the other day about, excuse me, I'm having like this cough attack, about assignments being turned in. I don't remember exactly. So for your class, it was the other week was 22 out of 32. So about 2/3 of the class. I just really want to continue stressing this idea of starting off strong, right? If we start off the semester strong, we stay on top of our work week after week before we hit our test here in a few weeks, you're going to be better prepared to prep for the test is going to be a lot easier. You'll be more successful on the test. You'll be happier with your grade. Like I always just tell my kids, it's way easier to keep an A than to come back from like an F, right? Not to say you have to have an A in the class, but it's a lot easier to keep a passing score than to come back from a failing score. So please don't get yourself overwhelmed with homework and the amount of stuff you have on your plate. Please set aside time each day to be chipping away at what you have to do in each class, all right? Let me see something real quick. Okay. Sorry, I was just looking at something. So for you all, this week is 5.2 bisectors and triangles. As always, right, I know I keep repeating this, but just in case people miss this, here's the textbook with the pages and the link to access the PDF of the textbook. The practice problems, make sure you're doing these, right? Algebra 2 is in a little bit different situation than you all. Algebra 2 is in some pretty rough stuff right now. Not, over their heads that they can't handle it. It just takes some practice. They're definitely putting in more time in their material than probably you all are. This stuff in bisectors and triangles, it's a pretty straightforward concept. You definitely do want to practice these problems that are in there just to make sure you understand it, but it's not that difficult of a concept to grasp. Basically the two situations that are happening in this lesson, angles and side bisectors. So if you haven't had an opportunity to jump into this week, please spend the next 40 minutes or so on this stuff. You still got plenty of time to knock this stuff out. Don't feel like you're just way overwhelmed and you're behind the 8 ball. You still have plenty of time. Just make sure you dedicate some time today on this. As you're doing these practice problems, make sure you have that solutions manual out. I can't stress that enough. You got to make sure that you're doing the correct steps and you're getting the right answers as you go. I hate doing like a whole page of worksheet problems and then, man, I screwed up like half of them because I was doing something wrong or I missed something, right? So have that out while you're doing those practice problems. If you want some extra practice, say you do a few, 2 or 3 problems in the lesson, and you're like, man, I don't really understand that. Where can I go to do some more problems like that, right? You can reference that section there. Vocab and concepts in the check-in. I'm still getting questions about vocab and concepts, so I'm going to continue to say it until those questions stop coming in. People are wondering, hey, can we do a Google Meet about this? We can if you need some clarification or some help, but all of these questions in vocab and concepts are coming straight from the textbook. So somebody emailed me yesterday, hey, can we do a Zoom so I can get some help? And I just responded with, yeah, I'm happy to do that, but that question is coming straight from page 210. So it's nothing that I really need to teach you because all you're looking for is vocabulary, right? So make sure you have your book out while you're doing this assignment. Be looking through the textbook pages. The reason why this assignment changed from the essential question at the beginning of the year to this is because I feel like this is more beneficial. It gets you actually reading through the text. It gets you looking at those little side bubbles that are off on the side of the page. You're reading through the content to understand what everything means and what the concepts are doing. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Your vocabulary for this whole section so far, including next week, is pretty heavy. It's got some vocabulary words that you've never even used that are very specific to this, not only this class in geometry, but these sections. So there's going to be some new vocabulary in here that you got to really pay attention to and make sure you understand what you're looking for. So have that book out while you're doing that. Then the check-in, solutions manual and video tutorial are both here for you. If you need some help, feel free to access those. And then the rest of that stuff is just our recordings of our classes. Next week, because it's past Wednesday, this stuff unlocked as of yesterday. All the same stuff, right? Interactive textbook practice problems, but now we're dealing with 5.3, which is introducing two things called medians and altitudes. Still dealing with triangles. It's very similar to the last couple of sections. They were dealing with, side bisectors and angle bisectors. This is dealing with two specific things for medians and altitudes, but again, very vocab heavy. There's some vocabulary in this section that you've never seen before, I'm assuming. And it's very specific to these things. So like a word orthocenter, right? If you're not familiar with that word, you will be as of next week. So make sure you're paying attention to the vocabulary when you're going through that textbook. So just like I just explained for 5.2 vocabulary, have your book out. That's going to be a huge help. And then the check-in, and then for help, the solutions manual video tutorial there for you. So, all right. I'm going to pause, let the late people in. If you have a question, feel free to unmute yourself. Or type something in the chat box. All right, I'm not seeing anything. So let me, again, just encourage those people. Make sure you're using the next 40 minutes or so to start digging through math, start looking through the textbook, start going through these problems, learning the vocabulary, all that kind of stuff, okay? I'm going to hang back and work with people or talk with people about anything they need. So if you're good to go and you're ready to go start working, have an awesome day. Reach out to me and email me if you need anything. But if you want to hang back, feel free to do so.
You have an awesome week too, Mr. Chapman.
Thanks, Jose. Everybody.
Bye, Mr. Chapman. Have a great weekend.
Bye, Joanna. You too. Bye, Vanessa.
Can I have help with the check-in for this week?
Yeah. So